Welcome to the fascinating story of how the land known as Togo transformed into TogoLand. We'll explore the dual arrival of German missionaries and traders, their deep influence on the EweLand, and the pivotal role of local chiefs like Togbe Mlapa III in forging the peace and trade agreement with the Germans in 1844. From their early evangelizing efforts to the establishment of trade posts throughout the region, the Germans left an indelible mark on the history of Togo. Let's dive into the history of how the name Togo came to be and how the Germans extended their influence northwards into what became TogoLand. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, comment and share. And if you are already a subscriber, then you are welcome once again. How Togo becomes TogoLand. The Germans came to TogoLand in two different groups. The first group, which arrived in 1847, comprised missionaries whose preoccupation was to spread the gospel. The group began its missionary activities at Peki Blengo. The missionaries reached out with their activities to places such as Kata, Adaklu, Waya, Ho, Anyako, and later Agu and Tove, which has since become known as Mission Tove, and thence to Kpalime and surrounding areas. The missionaries established good relationships with the natives wherever they went, and their efforts at evangelizing yielded many positive results. One of the very important benefits we derived from the activities of the missionaries was the fact that they very quickly learned our language and developed its calligraphy. Some 40 years or so later, a second group of missionaries of the Roman Catholic faith also arrived in the TogoLand. Both missionary groups established schools and seminaries and laid solid foundations for the development of education in the EweLand. Indeed, the Germans had established many mission stations throughout the length and breadth of the EweLand before the arrival of the British and the French, who on arrival began a real scramble for lands. The British and the French regarded the Germans with a lot of envy and jealousy because they did not succeed as much as the Germans had done in influence using missionary approaches. The second group of Germans arrived in the coastal area and went to the part of the Gbaga Lake bank, which was known to the locals as Togo, where the paramount chief lived. The elders who hosted the German guests appointed some smart young men to lead the new arrivals to the chief at Togo. This is the name the Germans heard and wrote as Togo. This was the German group that Gustav Nachtigal led to meet Togbe Mlapa III, who, like Togbe Kojo Day of Peki, also received them warmly. On the 5th of July 1884, Dr. Gustav Nachtigal signed an agreement on the settlement of the Germans amongst the people of the area. The document that was signed was headed Peace and Trade and contained a clause to the effect that the Germans shall live peacefully among the people. The Germans erected a flag at Agbadrafo, which they named Porto Seguro of Gbaga, Togo. The Germans extended their trade activities from there and established trade posts at places such as Genyi, Agu, Agoma, Ana, Ho, Gbijigbe, Krachi, Bando, Gbinyigbe, Keta, and Awudome. They went further along the banks of the Volta River to Dofo, Tong, Agave, Some, Aveno, Ave Agotime, Adaklu, before proceeding to the northern lands of the Mamprusis, Dagombas, Kokombas, Cabres, Basaris, and other areas of the Losos and Kotokolis. The name Togo, which the Germans wrote as Togo, therefore covered all the areas mentioned above and which were very positively infiltrated by the Germans. The lands that come under German influence extended from the Chaujoto, a mountain in Ana or Atakpama, moving along the land between the Volta and Mono rivers, along the Atlantic coast to the point at which the Volta entered the sea at Atiteti near Anyanui. In effect, the Mono and Volta rivers served as the eastern and western boundaries respectively for the real EweLand before the TogoLand proper extended northwards to cover non-Ewe-speaking peoples. The first German envoy, Dr. Gustav Nachtigal and his group, being taken across the Gbaga Lake to Togo Agbadrafo, Porto Seguro, by the natives to their king. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe, share, like and comment for more hidden historical contents.